They went into it full tilt.
This is Charlie Talbott, a member of the Talbott family and a partner at Talbott's Mountain Gold. He tells me his grandmother was the daughter of a second-generation peach grower and the granddaughter of Joe Yeager, one of the first farmers in the valley. Yeager bought his farm around 1944. Charlie tells me their crop distribution has changed a lot from their humble beginnings.
Back when the train car era, which came to a close really in the early 1960s when the refrigerated trucks became a thing. There's an amazing history of the D&RG railroad harvesting ice up in around Minturn all winter long.
Talbotts aren't the only family with a long history of local farming.
My sons will be the 7th generation if they want to farm, and daughter. I have a daughter now too, so.
Clark Family Orchard is another Palisade peach farm with humble Western Slope beginnings and even deeper roots. General Manager of Farming Operations Chris Schmalz tells me their business started when James A. Clark, a cattle rancher from Iowa, first came to the Western Slope and tried a peach that changed his life.
In 1897, he and his posse were pushing cattle through the Debeque Canyon here, and he came up into this valley here, which we call the vinelands, and there was a few residential peaches around. And he saw the ample water supply of the Colorado River, and it was the time of year where peaches were ripe, and he ate one off the tree, is the story I was told, and it was the best peach he'd ever had.
Clark returned home, moved his family to the valley, and founded Clark Family Orchard in 1897. Schmalz tells me back then, orchard workers were mainly just friends and family, but as the operation grew, the farm needed more help. So about 18 years ago, Clark Farm started hiring migrant labor under the H-2A program.
Here recently, in the past 4 or 5 years, we've expanded even more. So when I got here, we were about a little over 100 acres. We're now at 135.
Clarks not only grow fruit, they've opened a restaurant on the farm and an entertainment area. And the amount of product they're able to harvest these days is incredible.
Everything is in a refrigerated semi now, 18-wheeler, 22 pallets in a semi for 1,760 cases. They have a thermostat on there where they can set the temperature from 34 to 36 degrees. Super convenient.
So how much do they produce per harvest?
It varies. Usually we'll load 2 to 3 trucks a day at times. In our peak season, we'll load 3 trucks a day. Throughout the season, yeah, 50, or that's just a wild guess, but probably 50.
Which, in case you're wondering, is about 88,000 cases of fruit per year. First transported by horses, now refrigerated 18-wheelers haul fruit for the Talbotts and Clarks all over the country.
Our key markets remain in the Midwest, all the way from Texas up into the Minnesota and the Dakotas and Wisconsin.
They also go to Texas, and not so long ago, President Obama's wife Michelle had peaches from another local grower, High Country Orchard, sent straight to the White House. When wineries popped up in the 80s, longtime farmers even learned the art of growing grapes for vineyards, but Schmalz says only one fruit remains king.
Peaches. Peaches is our game all the way.
As for the future, both farms have jumped on the tourism bandwagon.
Palisade's really developed into a very touristy area, so we just work on ways to implement agro-tourism into our operation. Farming's tough, and you don't always have a full crop or a good crop, so if you can have outside resources to kind of help on those years, it can really help things. So that's why we've expanded into the distillery, and then several years ago my sister-in-law, Courtney Clark, runs the wedding venue across the road here.
All these years later, customers still can't get enough. Something to think about next time you pick up a peach. Alex Pritz-Rivero, KREX 5 News.